As full-time travelers, we're always on the lookout for that magic combination, the best experiences and the best prices.
And we just might have found it in Belgrade, Serbia.
If you're like us, you want to make the most of every single destination. So maybe that means staying in a beautiful Airbnb, eating in great restaurants, getting to know the local culture, and you want it all for a very reasonable cost.
This can sometimes be a little difficult to achieve in Europe. The big capital cities see so much tourism and prices are sky high, especially during peak summer season. So we wanted to know if maybe Eastern Europe was the answer. Could we get that European experience we wanted for a much more affordable price?
Well, we've been in Belgrade for a full month. We've stayed in a stylish apartment right in the center of the city. We've enjoyed amazing meals out almost every single day. We've really settled into that Serbian cafe culture, and now it's time to settle the final bill. How much did this taste of Europe cost us? But first, a big hello from Belgrade and welcome back. We're in our last few days here before making our way to our next stop in Serbia. So if you're new around here, I'm Stephanie and this is Gillian. We retired early to travel full time and we want to inspire you to do the same. So if you're looking for more, we have a new video every Sunday.
Now that we're at the end of our month in Belgrade, this is the time when we look back at our experiences and put a price tag on it. How much did we spend and what did we get for it? Now this is one of our absolute favorite types of video because it helps show you guys how affordable the slow travel lifestyle can be.
When we first started researching the cost of living here in Belgrade, we thought that our money was going to go pretty far, but what kind of experience would we get for it? We were a little unsure about what the city would have to offer.
We didn't really have a sense of what Belgrade is today, and we certainly didn't expect to find such a sophisticated, cosmopolitan city. Let's start things off with our Airbnb, which is always the biggest item in our budget. Now we have pretty high standards for our Airbnbs. Since we travel full time, we really want to feel at home no matter where we are in the world. And we got a lot right with this apartment. We look for a modern apartment, preferably stylish and minimal. The interior here is pretty small, but they've done a great job with compact furniture and lots of charming art on the walls. Overall, it's light and bright and really welcoming. And for those of you who were surprised that we carry yoga blocks in our luggage, there was still plenty of room for our morning yoga. Now normally we do like to have all the amenities. We're talking dishwasher, washing machine, air conditioning. Well, we did get air conditioning, but that was it.
It's not really a surprise that this apartment doesn't have a dishwasher because it has a tiny little kitchen with barely enough room to fit one person. It's actually the smallest kitchen we've ever had, including the van that we lived in when we were traveling around New Zealand. If you don't mind sticking with pretty simple meals, this is actually a really great spot for a stay in Belgrade. And let's face it, you're probably going to be eating out a lot in Belgrade anyway, which we will get into later. So the best part of this apartment is the location. Because we're so well located, we really didn't have to spend anything on transportation aside from taking a cab from the airport. And this apartment does put us right in the middle of all the action, but yet it doesn't feel too touristy. So we're on a quiet cobblestone street, which is actually one of the oldest streets in the city. We're close to the river and the park, and we can basically walk everywhere we want to go.
And that brings us to entertainment. There is so much to enjoy in Belgrade, just walking around without having to spend a dime. So right now we're at the pedestrian shopping and restaurant district, and it's huge. And so many of the main sites are around it. There's Republic Square, and just a few minutes away, there's Skadolia, the Bohemian Quarter with all its historic taverns.
But our favorite place for walking has to be the Belgrade Fortress. It's a place to get amazing views of the Sava River, especially first thing in the morning or at sunset. And we've been taking a lot of long walks in the park there just to escape the summer heat.
And of course, we had to take a look at the Temple of St. Sava, which is among the largest Orthodox churches in the world. Now, I've been to some pretty impressive churches, but I must say, this one was truly spectacular.
Of course, we did have some paid entertainment as well. We went to the Ethnographic Museum, which gives a really interesting slice of peasant life way back in the 19th century. And we checked out Princess Ljubica's residence, which gives a sense of how royalty lived around the same time.
And we spent one very memorable afternoon sampling 5 different types of rakia, which is the regional version of fruit brandy. And if you want to know, it does take practice to look as suave as I do during a tasting.
So if you've been following our channel for a while, you'll know that our favorite form of entertainment is dining out and discovering all the local flavors. Of course, it's never easy to navigate a brand new city and figure out which restaurants are worthwhile and which ones are just tourist traps. So for our time in Belgrade, we did a lot of research to find the best restaurants. And we also reached out for recommendations from bloggers and Instagrammers and fellow nomads from our own community. So all the research meant that we've been having some great dining experiences here in Belgrade. In fact, the prices are so low here that we've basically eaten out every single day. We have our neighborhood go-to restaurant for casual meals. So this one has been around for 70 years and can really dish out those Serbian classics like sarma and shavapi and schnitzel. We also tried the street food classics like pljeskavica and shish kebab and sausage, basically lots of meat on bun type snacks. We often started our day with a traditional burak from the local bakery, but we also had a lot of breakfast at more international restaurants too. You really don't have to go too far to find an avocado on toast in Belgrade. In fact, it's a fairly sophisticated restaurant scene.
Of course, we don't just dine out when we're traveling, we also enjoy cooking meals at home, even when we're working with the world's smallest kitchen. We bought some of our basics at the Maxi, which is the local grocery chain, but we did most of our shopping right here at the Green Market, which has amazing produce at incredibly low prices. You know, shopping at a green market in a foreign country is not for the faint of heart. It can be crowded and fast-paced, but really the biggest challenge of all is the language barrier. Most locals that we encountered in restaurants and stores did speak English, but that hasn't been the case in the green market. I've learned that you have to be comfortable with making a lot of gestures to get what you want, and maybe get to know some basic numbers in the local language. That also makes things easier. But it's really worth it to make the effort. This amazing haul of fruits and vegetables only costs $10 US. So if you're going to be doing a lot of cooking at home, you can easily get by in Belgrade on a pretty low budget. Overall, we were super impressed by how far our budget went. This is a really affordable yet pretty sophisticated slice of Europe. We came expecting it to be a little more gritty or run down, but what we found was a city with a well-preserved historic center, cobblestone streets, charming restaurants, and lots of green space. So, how much did it cost? Our Airbnb came in at just over $1,000 US, and that seemed like a pretty decent price for a modern apartment in the perfect location. Transportation cost us a whopping $20, and that was just for the cab from the airport. Entertainment was just $21. Dining out every day, sometimes twice a day, cost us around $400, and filling the fridge with a month's worth of groceries came in at $350 US.
So if you thought that spending time in Europe is always expensive, you'll be very surprised by our total for a full month here in Belgrade. Adding up all of these costs, we spent just over $1,800. Of course, every destination in Europe is going to come with different costs. Not every single place is as affordable as Belgrade. We spent the last couple years traveling all around Europe and tested out what kind of lifestyle you can buy in each city. So you can check out the next video right here for a roundup of our favorites.